Welcome back everyone. What we didn't discuss on our last video that is really important, and we've been discussing it since, is the whole area around the importance of valuing self-care and compassion for people who care for others. Whether that be someone who cares for elderly parents, and not even at this time necessarily caring for elderly parents, but having to attend to their needs because they are shielding or self-isolating, or friends or other members of your family that you might be doing that for. People also who care on a longer term for relatives and friends with mental and physical disabilities. We're talking about parents also, and we're talking about for those people who work on the frontline services who are caring for all of those who use our services who are unwell and need care. And that can be very challenging, the whole issue around guilt. And how if we are unable to, if we do all of our caring and give everything of ourselves to all of those people who need something from us, and we're not topping up our self-caring or being compassionate towards ourselves, how can we sustain that? How can we keep going? And that's a very important point to discuss, I think, now, Lisa, in terms of even prevention for the long term, because there's a lot of conversations and a lot of articles in the media about what's coming down the line post-COVID, post-crisis, what's it going to look like. And our discussions are very much around what it is that we can do now to self-care, to do the things that are important, not just to top up, but to be available for ourselves as well as for other people. And that requires actually thinking about what we can do, like we have been discussing all along.
And I think a lot of the research out there, if you're looking at the likes of Dr. Karen Trasman and trauma-informed organisations, trauma-informed cultures, and what that actually means when you actually break it down and look into it, it's this piece about being able to show compassion for ourselves and others, listening to understand and not just be understood, understanding different perspectives, different contexts. We're all coming here from different backgrounds. We're going home to different situations with different challenges and things. And there can be, I think, a lot of scaremongering about what can happen in the future. And yet the research is showing that there are things we can be doing now. And these things we've been talking about over the weeks are those very practical things: the connection, the wellness tools, the self-care, the practicing compassion for self and others. All these things have been shown to help support and build resilience in people that can help see us through difficult periods. I mean, I know in my personal life that it's been like that. You know, there are things, and when we look at what we have come through and that we're all still standing here, there are things that we've learned along the way, skills and knowledge that we've built up. And it's really important to share and connect with others in those. That connection, I think, is key and core to this piece.
And I think we have, I think, probably mentioned up before now that crisis is often an opportunity for growth and change. And in times like this, when we are pushed to the wall and when we have to respond, think about doing things differently, what does that actually mean? And it can affect, these kind of crises can affect positive change if we are able to respond to our own needs in the midst of it. And self-care for me has to be at the heart of it all. Leaving work to buy groceries, do shopping for neighbours, for friends, to attend to what's going on in your own home, to think about those people who require more of us on a long-term basis. What does it mean for us? Am I sleeping enough? Am I eating well? Am I taking time out? Am I nurturing myself and my needs in these times and given moments every day? What am I doing? I'm very aware of that. Many of you will be givers, will be carers. You might not even see yourselves as that. And I think it's really important to start thinking about what that actually means in the broader context. I don't see myself as a carer necessarily, but I care a lot for other people. It takes a lot of energy. It takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of thinking in my head. So self-care for me now will mean that in the longer term, and having a very balanced approach to everything will mean for me in the long term that I will get to the end of all of this like most people will, without having any really dire after effects, but actually being able to look back and say, well, I was able to do something very positive, and I learnt a lot about myself in terms of the opportunity for growth and change.
Yeah, and I think a really important message just to finish with in terms of compassion, which is kindness, and what we're doing for others, is that my experience, 30 years in mental health services, is that it is within the relationships, and it is the small acts, it is the thoughtfulness, it is treating people with dignity, with respect. It's really listening to people. It's not about having all the answers or being able to fix the world. It's simply within our own space and with we're at, how are we showing up? What are those little acts?
Absolutely.
Simply staying at home at the moment is an act of kindness and compassion, if that's where you're at and that's what you're doing. But for me and my whole life, and a lot of people I speak to, it is those little unseen things. It's not the big acts. It's not the gifts, it's not the things that cost money. When we talked about your Hope Box, we looked at a lot of things that were all about our relationship with other people. And the things that stick in my mind from all the years in my life are kindnesses of people where there was just that consideration, that compassion and that respect, and actually being seen. So we would just encourage you to think, take time, reflect, think about how are you showing up in your space, how are you showing up for yourself, how are you showing up for other people? And together we'll get through this and support each other.
Yes.
Take good care.